Well, Russia has sharply criticised an annual defence spending bill signed by US President Barack Obama last week. Moscow calls the move, allowing the supply of surface-to-air missiles to Syrian opposition groups, a hostile step. RT's Murad Gazdiev explains the concerns.
Man-pads, man-portable air defence weapons. Incredibly sophisticated, expensive, but it does exactly what it says on the box. It shoots down aircraft, particularly good against helicopters, low-flying aircraft and passenger jets. Plenty of Russian passenger jets flying all over Syria. The United States wants to send man-pads to Syrian rebels, moderate ones, once it's found them. And Moscow is concerned.
Washington committed to separate the rebels from the terrorists, but didn't cope with the task. So how is it possible to arm those people if you don't even know who will be on the receiving end, terrorists or so-called moderates? Today you'll supply moderates with man-pads. Tomorrow they will defect to the extremists. That has happened in the past.
Sending man-pads to Syria is one thing. Making sure that the right people get them and keep them is entirely another. And that's a point that the United States has failed on before.
The reality of the situation in both Syria and in Iraq is that, equipment and various weaponry, while given to the quote-unquote good guys, sometimes ends up in the hands of the quote-unquote bad guys.
Look at ISIS. They're driving around in US-made Humvees. They're firing from M4, M16 US Army assault rifles. They've even got MRAP anti-mine vehicles. They've looted Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, even Abrams tanks. They've got all of this. In fact, we even have footage of the United States airdropping ammunition and weapons to ISIS, albeit mistakenly. That was destined for Kurdish resistance fighters. Nevertheless, and I've seen this in war zones time and time again, whatever you least expect to go wrong will go wrong. So you've got to wonder about the logic of sending such advanced weapons as man-pads to Syrian rebels, many of which are affiliated with ISIS. Nevertheless, the bill itself, the NDAA, includes provisions that require justification for sending these weapons. They've got to identify who they're sending them to. They've got to know who, where, and why these people are receiving these weapons. But how it'll work out, well, we'll see.